lighting designer by morning, musical instrument technician, and orchid enthusiast by afternoon and evening. I became addicted to light when I saw my first play at the Jewish Community Center in Louisville, Kentucky. And I got fascinated by all those lights high up there and the way they could change mood and the way they could change the effect on stage. And it was just love at first sight, and I knew I had to do it in some form or another. I've worked for LDG since April of 2001, which makes it 17 going on 18 years. I started out in the office. I was the first draftsperson they ever hired. I took the job. After taking the job, I started at Food Network doing Cooking Live with Sarah Moulton to the deep end and had to learn to swim. I moved from there to VH1, and long-running gig I've had was at CNN for about 13 various shifts. I started out in the evening with Connie Chung's show she used to have, and then I moved on to the morning, all of the morning show iterations up until 3 years ago. I am the lighting director / designer for Good Morning Football on the NFL Network. We currently shoot at the NFL Experience in their cafeteria. My wife is a teacher in the largest public school in New York. And at the end of the year, her students give her presents. She had a couple of students whose parents ran greenhouses. So she shows up with these orchids on the last day of school, and as she does with anything green, she foists it in my direction and says, if I look at it, I'll kill it. I like things that are challenging, and orchids are very challenging. They are hard to grow. They are hard to make flower, but I have patience for it. I enjoy it, and the rewards are so cool when I just walk into my room at night and there are just these gorgeous flowers there that I grew. It's very fulfilling and it's very satisfying. It's at the point now where we're at critical mass, and if I bring one more into the house, I might be single again. I started playing guitar when I was 9, and I was attracted to very aggressive forms of music, blues, punk rock, stuff like that. And especially when you're learning to play, I think you're always a little rougher on it because you don't know the finesse, you don't know how to play really well or be delicate with it. I never really did learn to be delicate with it, but I learned some finesse. However, my instruments and amplifiers would always break because I was very hard on them, and there were a couple of music places in town where I could take them, but I couldn't afford to do it as often as I was breaking them. So I started buying books and learning how instruments worked, and slowly but surely started making everything work on my own instruments. And then people would either play my guitars or see me working on them and ask me if I would work on theirs, and it kind of snowballed. Being interviewed for a documentary on my repair business was really eye-opening, and it gave me an entirely new perspective on my own life, which sounds bizarre, but when you're in the moment and working and repairing things and you're rushing to the TV studio and lighting things, you don't back up. You don't think about what you're doing. You just react. You just do it. You just put the lights in the air and make it look good and make it pretty, and they tape the show. Or you fix the amp, it goes out the door, next. But to back up and really analyze what I've done and where I come from, it was pretty intense.